we are taking a break from the IT companies because when I was doing my research, I found some very important data points. They are very relevant in the current times. Why? Because these data points come from a very trusted source, that is Gartner. And the second is it touches upon everybody's lives. It talks about the future technology evolution. And mind you, we are always talking about the job losses. We are not talking about how and what do we do about job losses. The discussion is always about how AI is going to make all of us redundant, how the automation in general is really harming our own interest. Therefore, there seems to be a lot of negativity, but what do we do about this? Really have no idea. So when I came across this data point, it became very important to talk about it on priority. So the findings we have from this data point suggest some of the key technology areas where companies are investing. So before we get into the data points first, let us understand the methodology, how Gartner really comes up with these very key insights. And remember, they are always or not always spot on, but most of the time they give us a direction about how the future is shaping up. Therefore, if we are able to preempt our future planning in advance, or maybe we can really plan our future really well with the help of some key data points, probably we will be already prepared to handle any kind of challenge. Therefore, let me just tell you how these data points come up first. So normally Gartner talks to various companies. Many large enterprises are their client base. All the CFOs, CEOs, all the technology leaders from different companies, they really talk to them and they share their key insights, and these insights are where they are heading on, what are the key investments they are making on their skills, on their capabilities. So that gives them a very important data point. Other than that, they also measure how various technology forums are evolving, what they are discussing, what direction they are taking into. That is the second data point. Social media discussion is very important because, as you would have seen, how the hype really contributes to really pushing the technology in or making the technology mainstream, or sometimes it disturbs the technology in general. And it one more data point we will talk about it is the job posting of the company. Lot of times companies are investing but they don't have the capability in general. Sometimes they do a POC trainings and all these things in-house, but they also hire, and the hiring trends, they follow the hiring trends of these companies. And a lot of times these trends come up because there are some vendors who are working dedicatedly on these future technology areas, and how and what guidance these companies give them. So they summarize all this into a report, a very appealing report, and they give us that into in the form of insights. So this is my interpretation, please don't quote it. If you have to understand how they do it, you will have to really get into find that detail into the Google. I have no idea, it is just my assumption, because there is no safest way of doing it, or there is no real way of finding it. So they collect these data and they put their own analysis on top of that. Based on that, they come up with these very interesting findings. And as I said, their data points are not always correct. That means their insights coming from the data points are not always correct, but they somehow give us a direction to look forward to. Therefore, we should definitely spend some time on this activity. Today, that brings us to the solution part. The problem of job losses, automation, we have already spoken. So here we not only talk about the problems, we also come to the solution part. So here is the solution we are talking about. Let us talk about some of the data points and the insights from Gartner now. And they have broadly categorized this report into three categories: business enablers, interfaces and experiences, and productivity revolution. So let us look at what does that mean. As per their own definition, Gartner's own definition, technologies that are fundamentally changing the way we interact with the world. That means it is around connectivity, human to machine, machine to machine connectivity, business enablers, technologies that impact enterprises by changing practices, processes, methods, models or functions. This is talking about enterprise use case where we have lot of processes, methods, applications. They all come together to achieve some objectives. Then we have productivity revolution, and the productivity revolution is the confluence of multiple technologies and trends that help organizations quickly, accurately and in greater volume classify, predict and solve problems that humans cannot. So actually it is about AI. If we look at how they have come up with this diagram, and we try to read it, here they have given us some legends here. The outermost layer here, dark gray, it means the technology will take 6 to 8 years to become mainstream. Likewise, this slightly lighter gray is going to become mainstream in 3 to 6 years. 1 to 3 years, the light gray will become mainstream, the technologies which are mentioned here. And the yellow and dark yellow, I would say, is now. That means currently these are the hot topics. And the mass means how much impact one technology makes around for long time. So the dark blue means very high impact, and likewise for others here. We will look at the yellow circle first. In business enabler category, we can see low code platforms are becoming mainstream. And if you don't agree, please look in your own organization. I'm sure there are enough efforts to bring low code platforms or utilize low code platforms somehow. The second category is into the let's say interface and experience, which is advanced computer vision. Advanced computer vision means you have images, photos and various types of data. You extract data from that and utilize that data to come up with various predictions, various trends, suggest various things. That is advanced computer vision. You can do a defect detection. Likewise, you can do a face detection and various other things using advanced computer vision. Then we come into the productivity revolution category, and if you look at very key aspect here, all the data points here, all of them are dark blue. That means the impact is very high. This area is going to play a major role for this decade, and it is all about AI, deep neural networks, cloud AI, edge AI, model compression, composite AI. So it is nothing but AI. All the use cases around AI are going to be in the center stage for this decade. So watch out. If you have if you anyhow can get into the AI space, probably you should not fear, you should not worry for next 10 years at least. Okay, now we come to business enablers. We already have spoken about low code platform. Application ecosystem is always going to be there, so you don't need to worry about that. In one or other form it is going to stay there, but how, it is also important, because there are various things coming up which improves this application ecosystem. For example, DevOps is already mainstream. There are discussions around X ops now. ML ops is already there, data ops is already there. So things will change within the ecosystem, but applications will come there. Then if we talk about very important technology here, that's distributed ledger. Distributed ledger is nothing but blockchain. So blockchain, after a huge hype in 2017, and let's say the fizzling out that all hype in 2019, now it is becoming mainstream again. So it's interesting development. Smart contracts is again blockchain related topic. Distributed cloud, we all know cloud, how cloud has changed the IT industry forever. Therefore this distributed cloud is nothing but, you know, bringing all the cloud providers together in the multi-region, having a close tight coupling between these cloud providers. Maybe you can use one cloud provider for one region, another cloud provider for another region. That kind of things can happen within that space. An important concept here in this AR cloud, augmented reality can become. Augmented reality means mixed reality, virtual reality, augmented reality, they are all same. So cloud and augmented, these things will come together. Again, this AI generated topic, AI based topic will come into picture. We have already spoken about that. Interfaces and experiences, now we are talking about machine to machine interaction and also human to machine interactions. There what we see, IoT platforms are going to gain momentum. This is NLP based module, the chat based module, language, natural language processing, this is around that. Okay, digital twin and this AR augmented cloud, AR cloud, they are both same. So digital twin is nothing but you build a virtual or digital version of your product so that people can experience that. So this is again touching upon the same aspects. Advanced virtual assistant, we all know, we have these implemented in many platforms now. But advanced virtual machine payment assistants means you can do a lot of things through these. Maybe you can do payments, you can do schedulings, you can do various bookings and all these things with the advanced virtual assistants. So that space is again a promising space. Smart personalization, this space is coming up. Gartner feels as we go along in the future, probably we will have our own identities, virtual identities, that is around this. So this is how this landscape is panning out, and Gartner comes up with these reports very regularly. If there are interesting aspects, we will come back and touch upon these various reports, various insights, how you can utilize these insights to build your own career. Let's see, please understand how this whole system works. First of all, this is a whole cycle, and how the cycle works. First, Gartner talks to these customers, right? What they are finding very interesting, what are the potential areas they are investing. Now that data is fed to Gartner, they do their own analytics, and then analytics with all algorithms they have, they come up with some of the findings, and these findings become they democratize these findings for people like you and me. So they speak to some top people, then they build these reports, then they distribute these reports to people, average people like us, so that now once that report reaches us, that becomes a source of, let's say, good information for all of us. Therefore Gartner becomes a very important player in this whole cycle of technology evolution. So keep an eye on Gartner reports, understand them. Hopefully you will be able to utilize this information in much more effective way. One very important area which is not spoken around here, maybe it is somewhere else because I could only see this section. Cyber security is very hot topic. If you are somebody who is keen to advance into that area and it interests you, inspires you, please do look at it, because companies are putting a lot of effort building their own capabilities into the cyber security area. As we go along, internet will become a very competitive place, and therefore hackers, the malwares, the crimes, internet based crimes will become mainstream. So we need a layer of fighters. So if you want to become fighters, there is a good area or potential there. With that, we will stop here, and if we find very interesting insights more from Gartner, or let's say IDC, Forrester, maybe we will come up with some similar topic very soon again. Till that time, stay connected, stay safe, and take care.